Our main objective of this first week of studies is to really help you become a more active listener or perceptive listener. Now, things you need to do to be a perceptive listener, are number one, you got to try to listen to all the little details, what's going on, not just one part, but everything. What are the drums doing? What's the bass doing? Are there backup singers? Is there percussion? All these little things. You listen, try to find all the little details. You try and figure out what's going on in the musical form so you can follow along better and see where it's headed, where it's been, why did it go there. And the form and the structure are pretty much one and the same. What makes the piece unique? If you're listening to a blues, well, most blues is just a 12-measure sequence, so how come people can tell the difference between hundreds of thousands of blues songs? And the answer to that is that most of them have some little element to them that kind of defines them. You need to look for those things. Curiosity as to why the music was written, what's it supposed to do, and what do you need to do to understand it better are just things that keep you interested in listening and keep you actively listening. Describing the music to someone else and describing why you like or do not like the music, all these things are things you have to do in your concert reviews too. You have to perceptively listen to groups and look for everything. And when you're listening to stuff and trying to find all these little details, you need to find and listen for things in the melody, listen for harmony, listen for rhythmic properties like the meter and the tempo, listen for the range of dynamic levels, pitch range in the melody, what timbres are present. Timbres, again, are just the various instruments that you're hearing. How do all these elements kind of interact? And when you figure out how they interact, that'll help you figure out the form and the musical texture and the overall character of the music. Hopefully by the end of this class, this is going to seem relatively simple in most musical settings. I would say most of the time when you're listening to a very complex bit of romantic period classical music, it's still going to be somewhat confusing, but that's normal. The idea is just to expand on what you already know and be a perceptive listener.